genre.
Hello and welcome back to The Doctor's Companion. I'm Nick Jimenez.
I'm Scott Corelli.
And I'm Cass Fredrickson.
Today on the show, we'll be discussing Rogue, the 6th episode of Series 14, or, depending on who you ask, Season 1.
How long do you think it'll take for them to abandon that?
We'll see.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, the ratings apparently haven't been like at giggle levels. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like, I guess this isn't like a super runaway freight train success. So like,
Not in England. Do we know? But we don't know what the streaming
Disney
numbers
Plus numbers are.
Yeah,
Mm.
Disney
Yeah.
Plus streaming numbers are.
so like, if it had the desired effect of like attracting a lot of new fans, like, does that work in comics very often, Scott? Like a relaunch?
For one issue usually. It's usually like a bunch of people get the first issue, and they're like, "Yeah, I really like that. I'm going to read that," and then they don't. That's usually from working in a comic book store. That's what I remember. Where they get the second issue and the hype is wore down, and they're just like, and then they're gone. So like
Yeah.
by the time you get to the third issue, you're back to like the numbers you always had on that book. Yeah.
That's interesting. Cass, have you heard of any friends that have either returned to the show or tried the show for the first time since Got Was Rain started?
Not since 15. I knew a lot of people that jumped on with 13 though, and I don't know if they're still around.
Oh. Sure. Fair.
Yeah. Those people really hate Russell T Davies. Is what I've learned. Like, you know.
Oh, that's
Well, yeah, because like the sensibility of the show is like, it's honestly completely different.
It is. In my opinion, in a great way, but in their
Yes,
opinion,
I agree.
too much.
That's worth keeping in mind. I mean, you know, we get so used to the weirdness of Doctor Who, but like, imagine if like Wednesday or like Chicago Fire had a vibe shift akin to going from like the Jodie Whittaker era to now.
Yeah, that would be
Mhm.
wild. Yeah, suddenly all the firemen are gay. Yeah, that would be wild. gay camp. Yeah.
Cass, I feel like you were about to say something else.
No, just
Okay.
vibing.
Yeah.
Just
Just vibing. Yeah, so
Rogue.
so Rogue, yeah. Was not expecting this to be like, you know, a name, the title.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was a surprise. So written by Kate Herron and Brian E. Redman. Apparently, they were invited to write for the show, I guess, because Russell T Davies called out Kate Herron for, you know, Loki season 1, I guess. Not being.
Yeah, but she didn't
Okay,
write
enough.
that though.
I know.
Yeah.
It's very, you know, it's very silly, and it's also like I don't know. That's just not the vibe that I got from that. For me personally, but this was whatever the opposite
Wait.
of that is. Yeah.
What do you mean by that's not the vibe? You mean you didn't get Doctor Who vibes from Loki, or you didn't get Kate Herron vibes?
Oh, I
from,
thought
what do
he
you
was
mean?
calling her out for not like for Owen Wilson and Loki not being like an item.
There was okay, so there's that
Oh,
line,
okay.
there's that conversation where oh my god, I forgot. Is it Sophie? Is the Lady Loki? Like they're talking in that booth, and then she's like she basically asks like, oh, like who are you into? And then he says that line that's like bit of both or whatever.
Oh,
Mhm.
And then like people were like, yay, representation. And like I was one of those people because like scraps.
Yeah. Sure.
But I guess like Russell, like you're gonna take what you can get, you know? And then I guess Russell T Davies was just like, this is bullshit. Come on, like give me some real like representation.
Oh,
you know?
I see. Okay. Yeah. So he was just like, yeah, lip service isn't enough. Okay. Fair
I
enough.
had forgotten about that or never knew that
Yeah. Yeah.
particular scandal.
Yeah.
I didn't know that he had like called her out on social media. But if it led to this, like that's cool.
Yeah, by all means. But it is funny that he called out a director and then invited that director to write an episode of time.
Yeah,
I just
because
think
she's a
that's-
writer too. And
Yeah.
I think like
Right.
on
yeah.
social media, she was making a big because she's bisexual too,
Mhm.
and she was just like, you know, I tried my best to like
Yeah.
do that, like you know,
Move the machine.
Yeah,
image. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, Michael Waldron, you can stay though. Fuck away.
Yeah. So written by that pair, directed by Ben Chessel, who directed. Did he direct The Devil's Cord? Is that right? Am I remembering that right?
yes,
Yes. Devil's Cord. Yes, that is true. So I guess Devil's Cord probably was going to either be like right before or right after this originally, which definitely makes more sense vibes wise. But also now, I think we can kind of like look back at the season and be like, oh, I see why they did that, because there were like, you know, 2 Dr. Light episodes. And they needed another episode where the Doctor was in the whole thing, you know what I mean?
Right.
Early in the season. So I think that's probably why they move things around. That would be my guess anyway. But, yeah.
You know, and Judy Gottwell was recently cast in the ensemble of a War of the Roses remake,
Mm-hmm.
with like a pretty big cast, and you know, he's probably like it could be as big of a role as his Ken in Barbie, but it just it is worth remembering as fans that like these are both like pretty buzzy, busy young actors that we have as the leads, and like that's going to lead to a kind of wonky shooting schedule that's going to have like creative ramifications.
mm-hmm.
Yeah. I feel like it's probably in first position though for him. Because he's, you know, top of the call sheet, presumably. So it's probably, you know, I think it was more of an issue of like with Sex Education, he was in first position on that. And then this was in conflict with his first position on Doctor Who. So I think that's
true.
why
Okay,
that
yeah.
was a mess.
I'm
But
forgetting about Sex Education.
yeah.
'Cause
But,
I never watched it.
in any event, I watched the first episode and I was like, I like that a lot, and then I didn't keep going, just like the
Like
people with the
comics.
comic books.
Yeah.
Cass, have you seen any Sex Education?
I haven't.
I
Yeah,
heard it's very charming.
yeah. Okay, so I'll be curious. Like, first off, I just want to say that, like, man, this episode starts with that cold open. And of like this, the 2 guys like walk in, and then you get like a Doctor Who setup, and then the music comes in. And I was like, "This is all I've wanted all season."
Just 2 randos. They get in a fight. There's an alien, and then like, do we?
Yes, yeah. One of them's dead, and then you get the ooey, and I was like, "Yes, that is all I've wanted all
That's so funny.
season."
That's what we've been waiting for.
Yeah, that's Doctor Who, baby. I said that
It
so
really
many
is.
times, like in my head, like watching this episode. Yeah, this episode rules. This is top of the heap for me so far this season. How you guys feeling about it?
Should I go?
Sure.
Yeah.
Honestly, I feel like it's my birthday. I don't know that there exists a more like me coded episode of New Who. Yeah, this was great. I love this.
Yeah, I feel like we've each said this a couple of times since we've began this season, but like this might be my favorite episode of the season.
Mm.
My unicorn and the wasp loving heart just devoured this completely
Mhm.
and was having so much fun. I was kicking my feet. I was swooning.
Mhm.
I was not prepared for any of it, and we'll talk about it. But yeah, just so much fun and so many great moments. And I just have a feeling that this is like going to be a new classic and something that the fans like rewatch again and again, and we're really going to see get like shared and gifted and celebrated as the years go by.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. For sure. I also want to say that like this is like this feels like what the way that the budget was utilized in this episode is what I had always hoped from the Disney Plus era, which is it's not showy. A lot of it is like subtle use of the higher budget. Versus like the specials, which I know were supposed to be like big blockbusters, but like these big sweeping epic shots of the city, as like a helicopter lands and he walks out, like, and it's like, wow, okay, we got like summer blockbuster Disney money or whatever. But this is like a more subtle use of that money. Like, for example, the fact that like all of the aliens look different. Which never fucking happens. That
unique
never
designs, unique shapes, molds.
Never happens. And it's a budgetary reason. Like we only have money to sculpt one alien, so they're all gonna look identical because we're just gonna slap it on the same one on everybody's face. We're probably only gonna hire actors that have the same shape to their face, so that they can all share the prosthetics, but like here, they're like bird people and they all get to look incredibly unique, but of a part of a whole. And it's just like, yeah, this is what I'd always wanted to see. I always wanted to be able to easily differentiate the aliens so that I don't feel like a fucking racist because all of them look the same to me, I love this. I thought that was great. I thought Rogue's ship was incredible. The set reminded me a lot of Red Dwarf. But
that's funny.
Yeah, it reminded me a lot of Red Dwarf. But his ship, like the bird-shaped ship, was really cool. And then they saved money in other places by just like picking a location and just shooting in that location, and that's it. They never really left that location. So like, yeah, it was just like a really good use of money and it makes sense that this was written by a TV director, because she would have understood that, she would have understood like how to write for television in a way. So I just think I don't know, there was just so much to be impressed by, and that's to say nothing of the actual story and acting and chemistry and everything else in this. But I was just very impressed by that aspect of it, of like, yeah, they're using the Disney money the right way in this one. This is really great.
That makes me think there's a shot in the middle of the episode, square in the middle of the episode, where the bird people are like scheming outside together. It's, I think, when they decide that I want to look like the doctor, I want to be the doctor. And I had the thought of like, wow, this literally just looks like a cleaned up, very like lovingly made version of what we were watching back in 2006.
Yeah,
like in terms of scale and scope. Yeah, there were no big sweeping city shots or whatever, which looks to be back in fine form next week.
That's true. That is true. You're right. Yeah, it is really interesting that they like turned Unit into a base on a skyscraper. It's very. It's like, wow, that is very different from. It's not your daddy's unit, that's for sure. Literally, not your daddy's unit. Lethbridge Stewart.
Have they made that joke yet?
I don't think so. They should. It feels like a total Russell T Davies joke. Yeah,
It's not your
of
daddy's
like
unit,
like
yeah.
Nishudi Gatwa being like, it's not your daddy's unit, huh?
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 Doctor, if you're
And
quite
then she
finished,
just
people are
stares at
dead.
him.
1,300 people are dead.
Yeah.
That's funny.
So yeah, I mean, I love that opening. I really love that cold open. It was so old school.
Oh man, it's just like it's just so cozy. The whole episode was. The whole episode was just very cozy Doctor Who, but still really like move the needle in terms of like what Doctor Who does,
Yeah.
while still feeling like it's kind of like perfect in that way, right? Where you're like, yeah, this is such a cozy Doctor Who story. This is like all of those stories that we love so much in the old era. But then also they're like, but we're going to throw a lot of new shit at you also, in addition to that. It's kind of, what's funny is it's kind of the opposite of the Devil's Cord, where the Devil's Cord was like all new shit. Take it or
Yeah.
leave it, motherfuckers. And this is like, we're going to slip in a bunch of stuff that we've never done before in an episode that you've seen a million times and you're going to love,
I guess I kind of like the way that they have rearranged the airing order of these because of that. Like we've had like several episodes or like a few episodes in a row that are just like there's like a lot of conversation. There's like a lot of like divisiveness,
Mhm.
I guess, because it's like experimenting with the format, and then like we return to like this very like standard, like Doctor Who adventure, but we're also like challenging people at the same time.
Yeah.
And I think that's really clever.
Yeah. I agree.
And not unlike what Dot and Bubble were doing last week, where
Mhm.
it felt very cozy and classic. Oh, we're back. And then it had this like Planet of the Apes, like rug pull.
You blew
Yeah,
it
yeah.
up, you maniac.
Maniacs.
It's literally the Doctor doing that. That's funny.
I have a question, Cass. How did you feel about, so in contrast to Devil's Cord, we get almost a James Bond like Ruby and the Doctor are just in the party dancing already in costume. Isn't this fun in media res? How did you feel about that?
Oh, I like it. I don't know. I was thinking though, like, I think my one thing about this is something that we talked about last week, as far as like the Ruby and the Doctor just like hanging out. And like while I liked the Doctor and Rogue storyline, like they were separated again, like there wasn't really a lot of them aside from them dancing, which was really charming. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
No, for sure. I kind of have made peace with that this episode. Like, I thought about I was thinking about our conversations over the course of this season of like,
Yeah.
oh, why are they apart for so long? Or like, we don't know Ruby very well, or we don't know their chemistry very well. And maybe this episode, it's just a testament to how good this episode is singularly, that I found myself just kind of like a roller coaster. Like, all right, I don't care that they're separated because like, I'm having so much fun. Or like Ruby is such a fucking icon in this episode that it's like, I don't care that I couldn't write like an essay about her character at this point in time. Like I'm having so much fun with her.
Yeah, well, but also I don't know. That being said, as much as I like Ruby and I'm interested in what is going to happen over the next 2 episodes with her arc and everything and her story,
Yeah.
the MacGuffin aspect of her character, this episode unfortunately showed us a vision of a Doctor companion pairing that we've never seen before, that we are not going to be getting, and that bums me out a little bit, because I was like, man, we really did. There are so many other opportunities for Doctor companion pairings, dynamics that like we just don't see. We've never seen, and yet here we are. Back.
My best mate Ruby.
Yeah, back with the best mate Ruby, best mate Rose, best mate Martha, best mate, et cetera, et cetera. And
don't talk about Graham and Ryan like that.
This felt to me like really early days 9. where like
Mhm.
he doesn't know Rose as like super well yet, and then they're like both doing like it's like the end of the world, like, and then he has that thing with like the tree lady, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and Rose is off doing her own thing, trying
Right.
not to die.
Trying
So like the vibes for this reminded me of that
yeah,
for some reason.
that
Wow.
makes sense.
Now I'm imagining, like you said, and this being, what if this was the new Earth? What if this was like
Mhm.
the first episode back? Like, how would that have affected everyone's perception of the season? You know?
Mhm.
I would be curious about like what it would feel like if you swapped this in Devil's Cord. Like if you went like Space Babies
Space
to this.
Babies, this?
Yeah.
Wow.
And then now we're just now getting to Devil's Cord. How that would, because also Devil's Cord with that ending feels like it's very much setting up the
Like
next
a lead up
episode.
into the finale.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it's so dramatic, you know.
Yeah.
With the Ruby of it all, and I just like I don't know.
We're gonna do like fan edits of the season where we watch it in
in a different order.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, I so you know, there's like I agree with you, Nick. I am enjoying the ride, but it is also like this episode gives us such a fascinating glimpse at a very different kind of companion than we've ever seen before. Potential companion that it was like that feels nice. I kind of would be interested in seeing that too. Maybe, I don't know.
Well, I guess he's not. How would that be unlike if River Song were a companion for a whole season? You know,
Because River Song has the same energy as every other female character that Moffat has ever written. I love River Song to death, but like she's not that different from like Amy Pond and her literal mother and Clara, I guess, especially the Matt Smith era Clara. But I don't know. I guess maybe
the Clara era.
Yeah. Maybe the Clarevan era. Maybe maybe like River Song and Peter Capaldi would be a more 1-to-1.
Yeah.
I would say, just because like I don't know. There's definitely there's a very different energy between the Doctor and Rogue versus like 11 and River or 10 and River. But like I think 12 and River it's flip-flopped, but it's similar dynamic, I guess.
Yeah, because he's more understated, and she's like the very like bombastic,
Right.
I guess, like in your face one.
Right.
Machine gunning her name into a wall.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you're right, it wouldn't be that different, right, than that. But the thing is, River Song never got to be a companion. Not really.
Yeah.
I would have loved
know,
it.
and, like,
that. Yeah. Yeah.
I think we've talked about like we want a season of like River,
Yeah.
like just River and the Doctor.
Yeah. I think it's too
Yeah.
late for that now.
Yeah. No.
unfortunately,
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, it would have been great. I think that would have been great.
And I think we will do a walkthrough, so we will
Yeah.
get to Rogue in 15 scenes because I want to give them their due. But like,
Yeah.
that is a very like new relationship. Two people finding out about each other, almost kind of Scott Pilgrim-y.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Versus like, which we can unpack later, but versus you know, I think about the 12 River episode, which is very much old married couple, we've known each other in and out, like
Mhm.
all of our little picadillos and all that stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's very true. But it would have been cool if like somehow Capaldi had picked up the River fresh off of regenerating, like in Let's Kill Hitler.
Yeah.
And
Oh.
that's the River that it becomes his companion, you know? Is like that
Yeah.
period where he knows shit that she doesn't know, you know? And so
Uh-huh.
it's like got that very companion doctor dynamic that we're used to seeing, but we're used to as audience members not knowing what the Doctor knows until the show decides that we need to know that plot point or whatever,
Mhm.
or have that reveal. we would know as much as the Doctor does, which would be kind of an interesting dynamic, I think, as an audience member. But anyway, now I'm just writing Doctor Who fanfic. Anyway, yeah. So so they're already there. There's that interesting thing about like they don't actually know the dance that they're doing, but like the TARDIS is like helping them. Right? Is that
It's the earrings.
Oh, it's
that
the
she's
earring.
wearing.
The earrings.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. But there's a lot of wacky tech in this, and I feel like I feel like it has something to do with the whole fairy tale thing of like magic is real now. So it's like, we don't need to actually have a real scientific basis behind what we're doing now anymore. You know?
Yeah.
Now that magic is real, like the butterfly effect thing, and now this. You know.
I kind of saw that as, because one thing I almost like, I felt so elated and excited when I saw at the beginning of this episode written by, and it wasn't Chris Chibnall, Stephen Moffat, or Russell T Davies.
Oh,
because
go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, like, maybe it's just that like Kate Herron and I fucking hate my phone for having an ad in front of me because I'm trying to read her name out.
Byron E.
Redmond. Thank you, Scott. Byron E. Redmond. But like maybe they just think Sonic shit is cool because there's also a lot of like psychic paper fun stuff in this.
Yeah.
And it's like fun seeing what new writers find cool about this franchise and this idea and like this institution.
Yeah. I want to circle back on what you just said, but also going back to your point about, not seeing a showrunner's name up there written by. This is the first episode of Doctor Who since The Haunting of Via Diodati that was not written by a showrunner or past showrunner.
Oh my God.
A past or current showrunner. Yeah.
And that one ripped.
First one since The Haunting of Via Diodati.
And that one was also written by a woman, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because then it was Chibnall time, Flux time, and then it was 14 time. And
Yep. Wow.
Goodness gracious.
Yeah, 14, and then Stephen Moffat did Boom, so that doesn't count. And then
I hope we have more of, now that like we've established 15 and Ruby, I hope we have more of like this energy in the next season where it's just like new writers. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I think the only thing that might get in the way is that we're going to be introducing a second companion.
Yeah. Okay. So what's the deal with that? Because like she's in this too, isn't she? She's like the lady, the bird lady, the main bird lady.
No, that's she was in Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah,
which you haven't seen.
Yeah.
I don't have her name in front of me as well, but she was great.
I do.
Heartbreaking developments for
Indiri
Ronnie
Varma
fans. Indiri Varma.
Mm-hmm.
Not the Ronnie.
Not the Ronnie. Ah, well.
Heartbreaking. Oh well, what are we gonna do? She'll
That's
show up
fine.
next week.
She'll show up next week. Yeah.
That's fine.
Anyway.
I really liked Ruby calling that snooty guy Lord Chilton or Lord Stilton.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Very difficult cheese.
Yeah. So but what you were talking about in terms of like, fresh writers like finding like cool shit that they like about Doctor Who. I think that's got to be at least partially to blame for the cozy vibes of this, because I feel like they were like, "Oh, you want me to write a Russell T Davies era Doctor Who episode?" Okay. And then they just did. They like legit straight up did. And then like found all that cozy stuff to throw in there, like the joke about,
they're like, we don't want to write 73 yards. We don't want to write
Right.
Wild Blue Yonder. We want to write fucking like Platoon of Jadoon on the Moon.
Absolutely. And we want to write jokes about assembling shelves as a joke against his screwdriver, like that's the shit that we want. And it's like, yeah, hell yeah, that's what I want too. Man, so great.
On the topic of Oh My Bridgerton, in addition to having fun with Doctor Who, this episode has so much fun with the Bridgerton of it all,
Mhm.
almost to an Edgar Wright kind of Cornetto level. Just like fucking bad guy playing when the Doctor and Rogue are having their meet cute on the balcony,
Mm.
in the same way that Bridgerton will do like orchestral needle drops. I'm like, that's so fucking unnecessary, but funny.
That's so funny. I've never watched Bridgerton, so I didn't realize that was a thing. But that's really funny.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Uh,
I feel like I like to think she probably has never even seen Bridgerton because she's got better things to do, and she doesn't strike me as somebody who watches television. But I can't imagine that Sofia Coppola wouldn't watch Bridgerton and then hear what they're doing with the music and be like, God damn it, why didn't I think of that for Marie Antoinette? Because remember like the like backlash that she received for having like pop songs in Marie Antoinette.
right,
And how
got
it
booted
clashed with it.
I was
and everything.
obsessed with that soundtrack.
Yeah.
I
Oh no,
had
it
the
was
CD
great,
in my
and I
car.
got the vibe. But like, I wonder.
No,
if,
at the time.
Yeah. I just wonder, like, if she watched Bridgerton, if she was like, oh man, that would have been like a really fun way to go about doing what I did. Yeah. Anyway,
That's fun.
Cass, what did you think of Rogue and 15's meet cute, or first meeting?
I really, I don't know. They have insane chemistry.
Mhm.
And I don't know how much of that is just Ncuti being incredibly charming, because he is. But I really hope that Rogue comes back. Like, I know that the Doctor's like, to like skip to the end, I know the Doctor's just like, well, I move on because I have to or whatever. But like, no, go back for him.
Well, I think. No, please. I don't want to.
No, I don't know. I really like them. I like their energy. I like that Rogue is, like, seems to be playing at this character, but is also just like this normal, quote unquote normal, like, dude. Like,
Mhm.
he doesn't have a snappy one-liner when the Doctor is like causing a scene. Like, he doesn't know what to do, and I like that.
Mhm.
I like that dynamic.
I love a quiet, clumsy guy who's being romanced and doesn't really know what to do with his hands kind of
Yeah.
energy.
Yeah.
And that's like the energy that he has, especially in that bit where they have to like argue publicly, and he's like, I don't really know, I don't do words good.
I don't have the flair for the theatric that you do.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so then he just like has to like drop to his knees, and it's like the most romantic thing, like in the moment.
And the most dramatic thing.
And so dramatic. And so it's like, oh God, it's just like really, the character writing in this, I just think is like top tier, top level shit that's going on.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh man, it's my favorite thing. And
Because I like that.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I like that when they are like, when the Doctor's on his ship and they're like going back and forth, like, he has more of like, he's able to like meet him at his level,
Mhm.
but in like in front of other people, like, he's just like, I don't know what I'm doing,
Yeah.
which is like super relatable.
But it's also it's I think it's a key to their chemistry, which is that the Doctor is able to disarm him and like bring his walls down, even in like this weird situation that they're in that moment.
Yeah.
And going back to like, Cornetto level, like, satire, like, but making the thing itself, that Rogue absolutely falls into the Darcy archetype.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Where you kind of almost think he's a bad guy for the first couple minutes of this.
Yeah.
And then you realize that he's just all that the armor was hiding like deep vulnerability, and the Doctor is able to bring that out of him. And it's like, oh shit, they're making the thing, they're giving us everything while also like commenting on it in a way.
Yeah.
I
Jonathan Groff would make a good Vulcan, is what I learned watching this. I was like, wow.
Whoa.
Yeah. And such a smart move, because all we've been talking about how much about what a dreamboat 15 is. And so to give him an episode where he just gets to shine and be this like romantic lead is such a smart move, but also really fun.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the thing that I'm most fascinated by with the 15 with the 15 of it all, because it's so fresh and new and interesting, and his character is so different than any Doctor that we've ever had before. And I'm just so curious about what as someone, as we all three of us are, as a Doctor Who historian, like I just wonder about like 10 years from now how we're going to look back at this era and how it affected Doctor Who moving forward in terms of like what it does and how it operates. Like, will we ever have a Doctor costume ever again? Or are they going to always change their outfits now going forward? Like, is that just going to be a thing that newer Doctor Who fans look back on and go, oh yeah, like the show used to be really cheesy. They would just have the Doctor wear the same thing every day, like in every episode, And
I have thoughts about the ending, but I want to save it for the ending when we get to it.
Okay.
As to like going forward and whatnot.
Okay.
Cass.
Oh, I was because you were saying like how fans are going to receive this episode in the future, like because if I wasn't watching it when it was airing, but when the revival first happened, and like there was like because 10 and Rose are really like our, well, I guess 9 and Rose, like 9 and 10 and Rose, like they introduce like canon like romance to the show. Like it's not subtext or whatever.
Yeah,
I mean, Eighth Doctor did it first. Let's.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And also, speaking of,
he's half human on his mother's side.
yeah, right. That's true. He was a little crazy though at that point.
Yeah.
His brain was all scrambled. Maybe he forgot. But the
I had scrambled brains.
I had scrambled brains. I thought I was human. It was crazy. Dog. But it's funny. I was also thinking about the Eighth Doctor watching this, not just because he appears on screen, but because we get the canonization-esque of the Schalke Doctor in this, and that was a big question mark about the TV movie for a while, of like, is this even canon? And then Russell allowed it to be canon when he put his face in the book in Human Nature. Which is, again, he's like, put a face here that we were like, I don't think that's canon. He's like, yes it is, because everything is. And I just think that that's fun.
Well, yeah, so we get the rotating heads.
Yeah.
When the Doctor reveals himself to Rogue, and we get Joe Bishop, right? I believe we get the fugitive of the Judean.
Oh,
right.
Yes.
Right.
Fugitive
I
Doctor.
can't think of her name right now.
It's just Fugitive Doctor. Yeah.
Really? Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. It's Fugitive Doctor, like the War Doctor. She's the Fugitive Doctor.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I just remember they're calling whatever. So she was there, and then were there any other like big revelations with that little Easter egg basket?
I mean, the War Doctor was there, which was fun because it was the young War Doctor. It was like young, like Aliens era John Hurt, or Alien era John Hurt, with like the curly hair that like you get like a little glimpse of at the end of Night of the Doctor, which was kind of fun. And then you have the big revelation was the Schalke Doctor, which was previously not canon. How do you feel about that, Cass? You seem to have mixed feelings.
I've never seen it, so
well, it's not good. So
okay,
yeah, it's boring.
Is it? That's too bad.
Like it's like Flash animation. It was made for the internet in like 2003, so you can imagine what that feels like.
Bless.
Yeah,
Ruth. That's the name I couldn't think of.
Oh,
yeah,
right, but that was like a fake name. Yeah.
But we've called her the Ruth Doctor in the past, and that's the name that I couldn't think of.
Okay. Yeah, I guess I just like have canonized Fugitive Doctor because that's what everyone calls her now. In my mind. Like anytime there's like a list of doctors or whatever.
I'm going to be honest, I was not looking at the floating heads because I was just staring at Ncuti Gatwa because he's
Hell
so
yeah.
beautiful. So
I am a lord of time, and we have work to do.
So that I cannot believe Russell let That's his definitive doctor speech. Like, I've been waiting for it all season. Every doctor gets one except Jodie Whittaker, I think. I don't think she ever got one, unfortunately, which really sucks.
I hope we find one on a rewatch.
Yeah, I hope so too. With that we're like, oh, looking back, I guess this does kind of sum her doctor up.
Yeah.
But I was waiting for his big doctor moment, and each time something kind of in the realm would happen, I was like, oh, is that it? That's disappointing. I don't know if that's good enough. And then this happened. I was like, fuck yes, that's what I wanted. Hell yeah. That's the fucking doctor. There he is. I loved it. I loved that so much.
And then to cut to Rogue for the first time.
Yeah.
Like, oh, who's this person I've had in my ship this whole time?
Yeah. Whoa.
I know. I love that he's just like, wow.
Yeah.
So before we leave Rogue's ship, we see the doctor spots some D&D dice.
Yes.
Yeah.
On his desk, and he's like, wait, is Rogue a D&D name? And Jonathan Groff is like, roll for insight. And I have a pet theory that when we do return to Rogue, and I want him to be the biggest fucking nerd. And Rogue is entirely his cosplay. This is his Star-Lord. This is who he wishes he would be.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's fun that for a character that, wasn't created by. It's just so funny that Russell has done it again. He's let another writer create a character that he is clearly obsessed with. It was Captain Jack in his original era, and now it's Rogue. And
honestly,
there is zero chance that he's not coming back. That's how I feel.
I love that for him, because then it's like he gets to do what these new writers are doing. You know, it's like, oh, thank you for blessing me with this gift, and now I get to
have fun with
play.
it.
Yeah,
play.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. I just think that's so fun. Yeah.
I really liked the doctor. I mean, I liked Ruby's subplot with Emily Bennett. I thought they had fun chemistry. I fucking loved Ruby watching through the bookcase an episode of Bridgerton happening and reacting
yes.
to it.
Oh my God, that was so good. That was so good. It was so funny when the scene started and they were like talking back and forth. I was like, this feels a little stagey. I don't know if I like this. And then when it cut to her watching them through the bookcase, I was like, oh, never mind. This rules. This is great. This is perfect. Just adding that little layer of meta text of like, yeah, no, we know this sounds really stagey, and that's the point. Was like, oh, okay, great. As long as we're all in on the joke, that's great. I love this. I also. In terms of I think my favorite joke in the whole episode, and there's a lot to love in this, but my favorite joke was when the doctor, Rogue, Ruby, and what did you say her name was? The character?
I think it was Emily Bennett.
Emily Bennett?
Yes.
Emily Bennett they all sort of meet together and go over everything, and the doctor's going over all of these things, and then Emily just goes, I understood okay.
Yeah, I know.
And then they just keep going. And it was just such a subtle, so funny joke. Oh my God, I loved that. That was so funny. I loved that. Yeah, this is a great episode. I just had so much
I never
fun.
made my point about romance.
Oh yeah, romance.
Oh please,
yeah.
So at the time, was there backlash between from the fan base about the doctor
the
having
old
a girlfriend
fans.
or whatever?
The old fans, yes. New fans loved it, and made Tumblr pages dedicated to it. But
right, yeah.
and then every companion after that was them responding to it in a way that it was getting in the way.
Right.
Of the Doctor and Rose, who are clearly meant to be together and blah, blah, blah. And older fans being like, that's not how the show works. You goddamn kids.
I think it speaks to the testament of introducing that concept going forward. And now we have this episode where the Doctor like falls in love at first sight, basically, and it's just
Mhm.
like, oh, that's so cozy,
Yeah.
you know, as
Mhm.
opposed to like, fuck this is stupid,
Yeah.
you know.
I think my favorite moment of the episode may be when they're on the TARDIS, and I was like, yeah, hell yeah, Jonathan Groff is on the TARDIS. Jonathan Groff, he doesn't go anywhere, so it's not, I
Yeah.
guess
Right,
he's not technically a
right.
companion yet. But the moment where the Doctor is like, you lost someone, like I can tell because the way Jonathan Groff is able to show us an entire relationship we've never seen on his face.
Mm-hmm.
When he's like, there was a day, and by the time it was over, I had lost them,
Mhm.
and them like sharing that grief together, and it was just like going back to like how what a gift basket this season has been guest cast wise.
Mhm.
Like, oh, that's where you get Jonathan Groff. Like, this is crazy.
I'm also like, I don't know. It made me think about the fact that Jonathan Groff, or as Bethany refers to him, King Hamilton. Jonathan Groff being a stage actor, like I find like the crossover of like stage acting to on-screen acting so interesting, because there's a whole aspect to stage acting that you don't get to use, like acting that you don't get to use on stage that you do get to use on screen, which is like Nick said, putting like facial acting.
Yeah,
Which you
like
just
very
don't
subtle
get-
expression.
Yeah, you don't get to
Yeah.
do that on stage unless it's really exaggerated, because people have to understand in the back row what you're trying to do.
Mhm.
And so like the subtlety of the facial acting, you can just tell that he's like, God, I don't get to use these. I don't get to flex this part of my acting chops as that often because I'm on stage so much. And you can just tell that he just like really like, gives it his all. Like there's a lot of energy behind that sequence, that scene that Nick is calling out.
Yeah, just to nerd out for a second, listeners, if you ever just feel like going on the Royal Shakespeare Instagram, I think it's Royal Shakespeare Company, they share little clips of actors, alumni that they've had in productions, and there's like this incredible fucking 30-second clip of Indira Varma from this episode performing, I think it's Uncle Vanya, but it's certainly Chekhov. And it's just it's always like a magic trick to see an actor make that text feel like it was written that afternoon.
Oh
Mhm.
yeah.
and
That's
not
how
100 years ago.
That's how David Tennant always sounds when he does Shakespeare.
Oh my God, yeah.
Where you're just like,
Yeah.
how the fuck are you doing this? Like,
And finding laughs and jokes and
yeah.
So yeah, I think she's okay. Just to confirm, Indira Varma is also in the bird makeup, right? Afterwards,
Yes.
Yes, yeah.
okay, she owns.
Yeah.
Then
Yeah.
cool. Because if that wasn't her, I'd be like, she's underused. But now that I know that she's the bird lady too, yeah, she rolls in this.
Yeah. She's so good, and she does she gets to play like 3 different characters essentially. Because she gets
Yeah.
to be like full blown bird lady, she gets to be bird lady in disguise as the Duchess, and then she gets to play the Duchess originally. And they're all very different energies. Oh my God. I just remembered there was another thing that made Bethany and I like guffaw when it happened, which was when she literally chases Emily and her mom out of the place to be like, really brave of you to wear that dress that I wore last year. Like left the party to go after them just to fucking tear them down. And I was like, holy shit.
That's amazing.
That's such a dick move. It's like, no, they're not leaving this party until I fucking tear them down.
They have to know.
They
That
have
I
to
knew,
know that I
noticed.
fucking wore that dress, and I know what they're doing. Oh my God, I love that. It was so funny.
That's great.
Yeah. Another
please.
thing that I want to talk about, bringing up the I guess just the structure, the way that I like the structure of this episode, which is that like you're doing the Regency era thing, the Jane Austen, the Bridgerton, right? And you think like if this is the original era, if this was like 9 or 10 and Rose is clearly the one who ends up in a Bridgerton style romance thing gets
Yes.
pulled into like this fantasy of like, oh, I'm gonna have the all of this. But in this, they're like, no. She just wants to watch. Like, she's a fan of watching Bridgerton. She doesn't want to be in Bridgerton. And in fact, they set up an opportunity for her to get that, and she completely shuts that guy down and like walks away. And it's the doctor who gets the Bridgerton romance. And I just think that that's so fun. Just like as a like turning things on their head kind of structure.
Sure.
You know? Yeah. I love that. They like
She's like Zendaya in Challengers. She doesn't like to. She likes to watch. She likes to coordinate.
Yeah. Through a bookcase.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Oh God.
So I think like the fun that this episode is having with being romantic is like, you know, when they realize that, oh, the bad guys are cosplaying, so we have to put on a show. Well, the most scandalous thing would be if you and I danced, Rogue. And it's like, yeah, man, like this is the goods. Like this is like having fun with like this new relationship happening.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I like this new. I know a lot of people have a lot of people, very different types of people, not all bad people, but a lot of people have issues with treating history in this very like flexibly social thing that we've been kind of doing on certain shows like Bridgerton and
revisionist / fantasy.
Yeah,
like,
right. You know, like I think the first time I noticed it, because I don't watch Bridgerton, I don't know if this premiered before or after Bridgerton, but that Lady and the Tramp live action remake was the first time that I noticed it, because you're watching that and you're like, there's an Asian doctor. There's like the rich lady that owns the dogs is black. Like, it was just like, I was like, wow, this is so interesting, but I love this. Like, this is so nice. Like, I like making material, especially material for children, that is like, you know what? You don't need to know that things were really fucking bad back then. We would rather teach you good stuff right now, and you can learn about real history later, you know? And we would rather like kind of set up those morals in a different way. And I just think that that's nice. So I'm only bringing that up just because like they do it here, and I just like it. I don't know. Like, I like the idea that like the doctor is changing like social values through time and space, you know? Like, I just think that that's kind of, I don't know. I like that. And I like that regardless of how they might actually feel about two men dancing in their thing, the chemistry between them and the drama of it all is so much that they're like, I mean, we're not going to like, fuck with this. This is too juicy, you know?
I agree with that. I really loved all the extras and supporting actors' delivery of like, we are scandalized, but also visibly into it.
Yes. Yeah.
And like, this is Doctor Who, this is a fantasy, but you know, when that does happen and stuff, like it also kind of dispels the equally dangerous myth that like people of color or queer people didn't exist before fucking 2013 or whatever.
Exactly. Which I love that. Like, it is important, but I also know plenty of like queer people and people of color who don't like the revisionist because they're like, no, you got to remember what it was fucking like, you know?
Well, sure. Like, people aren't a monolith.
Right.
Like, every kind of opinion exists
Yeah.
within any kinds of marginalized whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know if the dancing is as romantic. Rogue is a fucking rolls a nat 20 in romance at the climax of this.
Yeah, it does.
Like, are you kidding me?
Find
me?
So, oh, fuck. And he will.
Yeah.
He
yeah.
better.
So that's kind of
I'm gonna be so mad.
Oh, wait.
So that's kind of my main point. Okay. Well, Scott, please. Yeah. You had a eureka moment.
Well, what if, okay, I this might be nothing, but I was just thinking we have an episode coming up that features an actress from Bridgerton. Is that going to be the next time we see Rogue? Like,
Ooh.
because I've not heard anything about Ruby being in that episode.
I don't know if I want Moffat to write this character, is my thing, because she's in the Christmas special, right? And that's Moffat.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Joy to the world.
Yeah.
Wait. So who? Oh, so that is Coughlin
the lead of the new season of Bridgerton
from Dairy Girls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
she's terrific.
And
That's
the infamous carriage scene that I've seen so many times on Instagram, and it's hot every single time I see it.
Nicola Coughlan.
Yeah,
That's
I don't watch the show, but man, that scene. Cass, have you seen that scene?
No.
You should watch that scene.
Okay.
Yeah, that
Just like-
it's hot as hell.
Okay.
Yeah,
You should also watch Dairy Girls. Dairy Girls is one of the best shows ever made.
and it's like what is it, like 18 episodes or something?
Yeah, it's great. It's
Yeah.
like it's like 6 episodes in 3 seasons or something.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I think with respect, Scott, to what you're saying about how overdue we are for a dynamic change in companion, and for companion relationships. And like a Rogue season would be like, oh my gosh. But in place of that, the Rogue makes this move. The episode makes this move of like taking that away.
Mm-hmm.
And with Find Me initiates a quest,
Mm-hmm.
a challenge.
And
it gives
pining.
us pining, yearning.
Yeah,
It's a Steve Rogers, Peggy Carter move.
that's true.
And what I like about that is now we have a thread that fans that are like, oh my God, the Doctor has to find Rogue. And like, when the Doctor finds Rogue, because he's like, Ruby, there are more dimensions and they're all atoms. I'm like, that doesn't even make fucking sense, but I know what you mean. Like, it's never going to happen. So when it does happen, it's going to be fucking like Come Away With Me, Carly Rae Jepsen plays in the
Yeah.
background,
I
And so like,
yeah. Go ahead.
is that like, oh, that's almost equal to like what we would have gotten in terms of like, because we have something that we care about that isn't written by RTD that we're like, I want to see that wrapped up like
Yeah.
a thread.
You're totally right. I completely agree with that. And it's not necessarily like I want that specific relationship. It just sort of like lit up this thing of like, oh, there are other dynamics out there,
Here's a chance.
Yeah.
And to see it literally drop out.
Right. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. But regardless, I mean, you're totally right. I love the pining. I love the yearning. I love the like, oh man, I just hope he gets his happy ending, which brings me to a theory I have, which is that Russell T Davies wants to introduce the fact that the Doctor will never properly regenerate ever again and will always bi-regenerate so that Doctor can retire and get a happy ending.
Oh my God.
So like when
Huh.
he regenerates, he's like, okay, well, my job is done as the Doctor. I'm going to go live forever with Rogue and whatever. Because he basically did that with Rose and the Doctor at the
Right.
end of his run. Just like a different Doctor, and everyone was like, that's bullshit. And he's like, you know what? You're right. That was bullshit. I'm never going to do that again. I'm going to go the other way. I'm going to go in the other direction because you're all right. And I that's my theory. My theory is that he's basically like brought in Rogue to set up the end game for 15, which is that he's going to live happily ever after with Rogue at some point at the end of his run.
And then Tom Holland as 16 can
Yes.
go off and do his thing.
Right. Tom Holland. Jesus.
Oh, God, blimey. I'm the Doctor Who, aren't I? Oh,
God. He would make a great companion. Terrible Doctor.
oh yeah. It's a little mustache, a little bowler hat.
Oh, no.
There we are, Doctor. Just a little boy, aren't I?
Oh my God.
It's me. It's Adric. I'm back.
Oh, it'd be great.
No one would
He's riding
question
a-
that. Everyone would be
he's
like,
riding a
yeah, that
dinosaur."
makes sense. I buy that.
With Tom Holland as Adric.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway,
So anything else Rogue related before we
can you guys
please.
explain the trap thing to me? Because
God damn it, I wanted you to do it.
Oh, okay. Because I was like,
Okay.
I was very confused
know.
how it worked because it seemed that Rogue had to replace Ruby on the trap, but then he just dropped that other lady on the trap who wasn't there originally. So
Because it was set for 6 people and there were only 5.
Oh, I see.
The weight.
So there were like 6 bodies.
Okay. So when he gets on, that allows her to get off. I
Yes.
see. Okay.
It's like a balance kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. All right. Cool. That explains that. Great.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
So they got Phantom Zone. So they I wonder if they each are going to end up in a different place or if they're all going to drop into the same place.
I don't know. Also, it doesn't seem that Rogue is like Rogue isn't. Is he an alien or is he just from the future?
I think he's just like a future human.
Okay.
I think he's a human.
Okay.
Because he he has like the pop songs. He's got like the D&D
Yeah, right.
guys.
Yeah, so
I
he's
forgot
got to
about the pop
like
song. That was great.
He's got to find him quick because like he's not going to survive the 600 years that the bird guys are going to survive.
Oh my god. Wait, okay, so I loved that moment. Like as charming and like bubbly and like fun as 15 is, I liked seeing him angry.
Yeah.
And it played like really well.
Because he's really emotional. He's our most
Yeah.
emotional doctor, like full
Yes.
stop. I think that almost goes without saying. But the way that his sadness turns to anger / like justice
Fury,
and
yeah.
fury, it's so good, and it doesn't feel psychotic like it did with 10 when 10 would get
Right.
like that.
Yeah.
Where
Well,
you're
'cause
like,
it's-
Jesus,
it's-
you're scary. you
'cause
know,
he
it never
gets,
feels
he gets
like
like
that.
quiet angry.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And he's so not quiet
Mhm.
most of the time. So like when he was just like, good, like, that's a long time for them to suffer. I'm like, oh, that's scary.
That cut
Yeah.
to the mom, though, I feel like that was a little too much mustard on the moment for me. I was like, yeah, no, we know what you're thinking. We don't need to cut to this. Also, especially because she's not even dead, so it's like,
Right.
yeah. In retrospect, it's really like way too much mustard on that moment, I think.
No, it was good. It was great. As of going back to the kind of meta game as a Whovian watching the show,
Mhm.
I clocked it and I'm like, oh, great. Now I know he can go there and the writers are open to him going there
Yes. Yeah.
in the future.
Yeah. It's really good.
Like I don't need him to pull a, whatever the Christmas Invasion, that poor spider lady. I don't need him to ever do that, but it's kind of cool to know that he could go to that place.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's good. Really good episode. I'm just so thrilled with it, I think.
And I like it being called Rogue in retrospect because it almost kind of like confidently puts him on the place of like a Rose.
Yeah.
Or,
Yeah. Because even Captain Jack didn't get an episode named after him.
Right.
Not
It's a
even
Billy
as to
Joel
face the
song.
bow. So anyway. All right. Next week we have The Legend of Ruby Sunday.
twist heavy teaser.
Yes, twist heavy teaser. Russell T Davies is a liar. Because he does these commentaries for every episode, I guess in the Doctor Who podcast or something like that, and was just like, yeah, no, it's just a coincidence that she's in these 2 episodes. She was just around and we liked her and we just cast her again and there she is again. It's fine. She's really talented. Like that's what he said in that.
That's
And I was like, "You fucking-"
that's Teehee energy.
Yeah, you fucking liar. I love that. But anyway, yeah. So that's next week. Very twist heavy. Very.
So glad it's not the finale. I'm so glad we have 2 left.
Mhm,
Mm-hmm.
mhm. I will be curious too about how much it feels. It is a part 1 versus its own episode. Because I don't think we've ever
Sure.
gotten it confirmed that it is
That it's
actually
2
a part
parts.
1. But I don't think we've seen anything from the finale. I don't think anything from the finale has been in any trailers.
I think that's really cool.
I love that.
I'm excited by that.
Yeah, me too. My current pet theory about who Susan Twist is that she is in fact Ruby Sunday. That is my
Oh.
yeah.
Like a bad wolf situation
or something.
sort of
I don't
thing?
know. Yeah,
Yeah.
something. I don't know. Maybe 73 yards doesn't. Maybe that dispels that. But
Oh, right.
I just don't. I don't know what. It'll be so interesting to see if we must get the reveal right in the next episode of like who she is. They wouldn't have set the trailer up like that if we didn't get the answer. You would think.
Right.
So it'll be interesting to see if that reveal feels like satisfying for how much setup we've had.
So
for her, yes,
we have the Ronnie.
Yep,
could be the Ronnie.
Could be the Ronnie.
Could be another one of the toy makers' horde, Legion.
True. Could be Ruby's mom.
Could be Ruby's mom.
Watching out for her through time
Cynthia
and space.
Could be the Master.
I would hope not. I would hope not so soon.
I always hope it's not the Master.
Yeah. So what is the
But
Doctor?
then when it is, I'm happy.
Yeah, it's true.
It's
Well,
weird.
the master's in like a tooth right now.
Right.
That's right.
But the tooth
What of
got
the
picked up.
tooth?
Yeah,
What
the
of
tooth
the
got
tooth,
picked up.
dear
I don't know.
listener?
Yeah. Yeah, what of the tooth? Wait.
Because we don't know. We don't know if Maestro. It's like I'm 80% sure that was Maestro picking up the tooth at the end of the giggle and cackling. But like, I hate that I don't know that.
Wait. I'm just it's been a while since I saw the giggle. That the tooth was the Master?
So there was a part.
He's in
Yeah, please.
when like the toy maker like smiles and he has a gold tooth. He's like, I put the master in here. He's like,
Oh, that's right. Okay, that's right. I forgot about that. I was like,
And then
how? I thought it was.
I
it
have
was
not
in-
forgotten about the master.
Yeah, I thought it was in the toy maker. Yeah. Okay. All right. That makes sense. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, Kaz knows the whereabouts of the Master at any given moment.
Right.
Yeah.
Gotta keep tabs on that bitch. Yeah, I don't know. That'll be interesting. Or was that her? Was the hand?
Oh, was that Susan Twist?
Was that Susan Twist?
Oh.
Ooh. I just want to reiterate, just because it's fun to remember, that is her Christian human name.
Yes.
That is the name of the actor.
Yes. The
I
actress.
think that's great. That
Yeah. Susan Twist. There's always a twist at the end.
it's a hooey name.
It is.
It is.
It is. They're having a lot of fun with her.
I would be surprised if Susan Twist is playing the Master, but I would also be surprised if they don't give Nshutigawa's doctor a Master to match wits against.
Yeah, I just would be surprised if it happened this soon. I could see that being like, again, like waiting until like season 3 or 4 into his run. Because I also have a feeling, I don't know why, but I was like that shot came up of like Nishuti like at the end outside of the Bridgerton house, the manor, and he was kind of just like, it's kind of like a low hero shot, like from the chest up, and he's just sort of like kind of like looking up kind of, and he looks very heroic and whatever. And I was just thinking like, I think he's going to give Tom Baker a run for his money. I think he's going to be around for a while. Like not for amount of episodes, because how could you? He would have to be playing the role for 20 years, I think, at that point. But
Right.
but in terms of like amount of years, I don't know. I just have a feeling that he's going to be around for a good long while.
Well, how long was Jodie? 13.
I think
We didn't get very many
17 to-
episodes, but like
17 to 21, 22,
Okay.
21.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That went with the pandemic, unfortunately, being a
Right.
factor in that.
Right. Yeah, she would have been done sooner, probably.
I
don't
think
know.
they've all averaged like 3 to 4 years.
Yeah, they all average 3 seasons. And then there's usually like some specials tacked on because they're having trouble letting go. But
They're
yeah,
processing it.
yeah, they all tend to have 3 seasons, and that's a rule set by Patrick Troughton. He like gives advice. He was giving advice to doctors and being like, 3 years, that's it. I saw what
That's
happened
the
to
sweet
Hartnell.
spot.
Don't do more
Yeah.
than that. And Tom Baker was like, "Fuck you! You can't tell me what to do, old
Windmilling
man."
for 8 years.
Yeah. And then then the 5 doctors happens and he's not there. And Troughton's like, "I told him he should have taken a break. He'd be here."
I'm wondering if you're right that he's going to be around for a while because before recording, Norman was telling me about an interview, I guess, with Ncuti that he saw, and he talks about how he told his agents that he wanted to be cast in something like Willy Wonka or Doctor Who.
Yeah.
And then it's just like, well, how about you be the Doctor? So like this is
Right.
kind of this is what he wants to be doing right now.
Yeah. Yeah. And they're not overworking him doing 9 episodes a year,
Right.
you know?
Yeah.
So I don't think he's probably going to have lots of free time to do other projects, not other television series necessarily, but he can definitely do
Like
movies.
movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Sure, movies or limited series. I mean,
yeah,
they could be done shooting season 2 for all we know.
they are.
Yeah.
They are.
They are. Yeah. They're
That's so wild.
They're done, and they're almost done writing season 3.
Oh my God.
So they're going to start shooting, I think, the season 3 Christmas special, the Christmas special of 2025.
Nuts.
I think in like,
Jordan of the World 2.
I literally think in like a month or 2, I think is when they
Wow.
start shooting season 3 starting with the Christmas special. Yeah. So,
Well,
yeah, because they need all that
can't wait.
time for post-production.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm ready. I'm ready to manifest it. I'm hopeful enough. I want my dog back.
Oh yeah, K9. Yeah.
I want my little robot dog back.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I don't know. I could vibe with K9 and 15. I think that makes sense. I think that checks out.
But now he's voiced by Brett Goldstein.
Oh my God.
Doctor.
It's me. Affirmative.
Affirmative. Fucking negative, innit?
I'm surprised they don't have like K9 at unit.
That's
Like
true.
I want him
Right?
to just be rolling around unit.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, that
That'd be
could have
really-
been K9 instead of that weird fucking robot guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
like, that'd be really funny though to like a reveal that he's like a janitor or something, or he like works in the mail.
Love that.
Hello.
Mail
He's
here.
got like a Zamboni attachment. Like he's just
He's the Zamboni. Hello, Doctor. Oh my God. He's one of my oldest friends.
You know what? Another aspect to 15 that I love a lot is how it's not always there, but the little instances, the little glimpses of Ncudi's Scottish accent. Every
Yeah.
once in a while, it just kind of pops in and then pops back out again, and I love it.
Oh, that's right. You're
Yeah.
Scottish. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. I think that's fun. Because it actually makes more sense that the Doctor would have like nonsense, a nonsense dialect, because he's been so many people at this point with so many different dialects.
Right. Like
Yeah.
Anya Taylor-Joy.
Yeah.
Like if you ever listen to Anya Taylor-Joy talk for an extent, like an interview, it's fascinating because like, yeah, it kind of bleeds and goes in and out.
Yeah.
Of like different dialects.
Yeah. I
Mhm.
love that.
Yeah. So what a fun episode. What a fun episode of this podcast. I
Mhm.
love you both very much.
Mm-hmm.
I was worried we weren't going to have a lot to talk about because like it's
It's
pretty
just,
straightforward.
yeah,
fun,
and it's just
you
good.
know? And, like
so
I knew we were all going to like it. So,
Yeah,
like-
yeah. I was a little worried about that too. Nick, you said you had like a theory about the end of this, or did you already?
Oh
do
no, that was it. Is I think it was worth losing Rogue to get that like Peggy Carter Captain America kind of
yeah.
thing into the show.
I gotcha. Yeah, yeah. My theory is that by regeneration forever, or at least until another showrunner shows up and says, no more of that.
That's the way.
Enough
That's the
of
way
this.
Yeah.
I don't want to write
Enough.
2 of them.
I said enough.
Staff just slams their staff on the ground.
Yeah.
Oh my God. If they're writing the Christmas special after this, like the season 3 Christmas special, I'm just like, better put Rogue in there.
Uh-huh.
Oh my God, like a Love Actually like Christmas
Yeah.
special with Rogue. Yeah.
Oh man. I don't know if I ever want him to come back to the show. Like I do, that the writer, Richard.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
Richard Curtis.
Yeah,
Richard
Richard
Curtis.
Curtis. Like
Yeah.
I don't know if I do because I don't know if I we all wanted
Yeah, you don't want another Nightmare in Silver.
Exactly. Yep, you read my fucking mind. Yes, we all wanted Neil Gaiman to come back.
That wasn't his fault, though. That wasn't his fault.
Yeah, but it fucking wrecked his. He had a perfect episode where it's and then there's the Neil Gaiman one, and it's one of the most classic episodes of Doctor Who ever. And they were like, oh, but he wrote another one. They're like, yeah.
Did he though?
I don't know if I want to have that. I think I want Richard Curtis to just have his perfect episode that he has. But at the same time, a part of me does kind of want him to come back and see if he can do it again. But I still feel that way about Neil Gaiman. So I don't know. I'm insane.
Whereas this, even though this could very well grow into a classic episode, and I love it a lot, it's so clearly just like an episode of Doctor Who.
Yeah,
that I would love for this team to come back.
This feels like Paul Corneli in that way, where he has these two really fantastic stories, but. I would have no issues with him coming back, because they are both cozy in that way. They just feel like really good standard episodes of Doctor Who in a way. And sometimes that's what you want,
Apparently, because I was Googling because I hadn't seen the Scream of the Shelka, but he was the writer on that.
Really?
Yeah.
I found it very boring myself, and it is just because the animation is bad because of what it is.
Do you think that because of this episode they're gonna remaster that?
Oh, maybe they will. I don't know. That would make sense. Yeah, or maybe just remake it in live action with Richard E. Grant.
Yeah,
that would rule.
Hello.
Yeah.
Richard E. Grant. Did you ever follow him on Instagram? It's intoxicating. I've just had a run. Fantastic.
God.
Winter out.
I love him. So good. Oh man, I just thought of something then Nick's impression through I got so intoxicated by it. I don't remember what I was gonna say. I remember. The one thing that I do not want out of this episode is a Rogue spinoff. Don't want it.
Cool.
No, less is more. I think.
I don't want it. I don't want his Torchwood. Don't do it, please.
Definitely.
Yeah, I don't. Do not want. I get the instinct, but I like seeing him through the Doctor. I don't want to explore his entire interior life. I think he's better like
kind of totally. It's kind of like the Doctor kind of has a Mr. Big now.
Yeah. That's fun.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's fun. Oh, I do. Okay, what if I was just thinking about the Master, and I was just thinking about the ring that he gives him, and the Master ring, and the I don't know. I feel like there what there's a potential for something there. Maybe, I don't know.
Well, I think because I think when they're doing the introduction and he's because he asks oh, just the Doctor, and he says just Rogue. I thought that was setting up oh, is this a Time Lord?
Yeah, I thought so too. But yeah, I think he is just human, or at least he thinks he is.
Right. I don't know if I like that. I don't know. I'm
but if they're in love, that's all you've ever wanted, Cass.
I know.
I don't know if I want it either, but I'll take it happily and gladly.
We already know they're in love.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah. Anyway.
Oh my God.
Great episode. Next week, The Legend of Ruby Sunday.
Indeed. All right, cool. Thanks for listening, everybody, and we'll talk to you then. Bye.